Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Hugo Breton. I'm a senior partner at Action Coach Holton. And today I'm here with Sam James, the founder of Sam James Coffee Bar. We're going to be talking about his story, his journey, and some best practices that, along with his team, have led them to grow the company. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. So Sam, welcome and thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
As I told you, I was reading a little bit more, and so you have 4 locations in Toronto, and then you have also partner shops. There was
Yep.
one phrase that I love, which was making your coffee easy to drink, easy to brew, and easy to buy. I would love to just get started learning about your story and how the business has grown.
Yeah, I mean, I've been owning my own business now since 2009. So we're going to be celebrating our 15-year anniversary of the first location opening in August of this year.
Right?
I've been working in coffee since I was 20 years old. So yeah, I'll be 20 years in the industry now. I started as a barista working at a bunch of different smaller coffee shops in Toronto at the sort of point when the specialty coffee scene was emerging here. So I got to see a lot of the early infancy of the specialty coffee scene here and watch that kind of grow and be a part of it. And that's kind of the origin story of it.
Oh, okay. And with the 4 locations, how is the team organized? And I know that part of what would be interesting is just exploring the behind the scenes of the coffee shop. So how is the team, like let's say the central team, organized, and what's your role to the
Um,
team?
I'm kind of a Swiss Army knife as far as like my role goes. I've been doing this for so long that a lot of the how-tos are just kind of baked in now. But I do have a structured team that sort of manages everything a little bit more officially than that.
Okay.
So we have an operations manager who works with me here at the warehouse, and then I have a marketing officer who works with me here at the warehouse as well. And the warehouse is where we roast and ship all of our wholesale product and coffee that goes to my actual stores. It's where we do all of the back end stuff as well. I also have a head technician who works here, so he takes care of all the equipment, all the maintenance, installations, all that kind of stuff. Um, Making sure that my shops are operating at peak performance. Even though they're experiencing a lot of volume, there's a lot of repairs and maintenance that has to go on behind the scenes after we close for the day. So that's a big component of our success. I've got 2 roasters who work for me. One is the head roaster, Bruce, and then I've also got a production roaster, Mike. And so they take care of the production of all of our freshly roasted coffee. I have a packaging manager who basically handles all the wholesale orders that come in, all the web orders that come in, all the packaging, shipping, all that sort of stuff. And then breaking down the organization of the retail shops, I have a general manager who sort of takes care of all of the stores as a totality. She does all the scheduling, all the sort of communications with all the staff themselves. And then each location would have its own, its own manager for that store. And then the rest of the staff of baristas, they get to float between all the locations. So they get a change of scenery basically every day. But all the cafes are set up very similarly. So the experience is it's kind of it's like driving the same car, but different color every day.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now, I you mentioned the boom of the specialty coffee shops. And I know that you mentioned how you wanted to make it different in terms of the taste. So what would you say makes your business unique? And I think it can be both the experience as just the taste of the coffee.
Yeah, I think obviously my approach to this business is what kind of sets it apart. I didn't start this to get wealthy or anything. Like that was not my primary motivation. Obviously, I wanted it to succeed and that be a side effect of it. But
Mhm.
I really just wanted a really good coffee shop that was simple and low key, not trying to do too much. I think a lot of entrepreneurs start and they have this massive grand vision of what it's going to be, and then they forget the little things. And so I wanted to kind of focus on the little things and let the big things kind of come as they might. But just focusing on making it good and meaningful has made it actually more successful than trying to make it successful, like as my primary goal. So I think just kind of centering my mentality in that way has made it something unique. Um, and obviously, the shops are all very small. They're all pretty much like a takeout operation that you could drink coffee in. So just building that around the reality of how people drink coffee, like I would love it if everybody sat down and had a coffee and enjoyed it, but most people in Toronto are on the move and they got to go to work or they got to drop their kids off or they got stuff to do. So takeaway coffee is kind of that's the fuel for any good coffee shop, at least in this city. But we also take our for here coffee seriously. So, the quality is based on what someone would experience it if they were to drink it in store as an espresso or as a cappuccino, and then it just translates much better to a takeout experience that way.
Okay.
Um, and then we try to do everything. Like I try not to outsource what we can. If we can do it in house, then we do it in house. So maintenance, roasting, all that sort of stuff, training, even hiring. Like we do everything internally
Mhm.
unless we can.
Okay. Okay. And the roastery or the style of coffee, because I'm not a huge, I'm not huge on coffee, so I'm not very knowledgeable.
Could
But
have changed that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, uh, is there a particular flavor or style that you're aiming for, or by this point you just have to have different varieties, so that you
Yeah,
know.
try not to do too much. Like, I think you can really get lost trying to be something for everybody as a coffee roaster,
Mhm,
which can create all kinds of issues with the inventory and roasting technique and style and the way that people interpret your business. So, I think you kind of have to stick to something and master it. And obviously there is room for some differential there too, but I think people want predictable coffee,
mhm,
at least in my experience. They want to be able to know what to expect when they buy it. Uh, and there is a niche market of people who want more of an exploratory experience when they are buying coffee, like seeking out really odd coffees that are unique. That's a whole market into itself, but I think it's niche, and most people really just they want reliable coffee. And to me, the dominant preference is always going to be towards something more sweet and chocolatey as far as a profile of coffee goes. Um, the niche option is usually more of like a fruit forward, kind of brighter coffee, which I think kind of speaks more to like a specialized industry in itself. Like a lot of people in the industry actually want really unique, weird coffees, but the customers don't. And so there's a bit of a differential there with people in the industry creating offerings for customer bases. You always have to know who it's for.
yeah,
And so I just listen to my customers' feedback. I listen to what people actually want, what they say they want. To me, they want simple coffee. They just want it better than they're used to. And so that's kind of what we've tried to lean into is buying really nice, simple, clean, sweet, chocolatey coffees that aren't super acidic, and then just roasting them in small batches, developing those roasts to a point where, like, I think about roasting the way that someone who works at a steakhouse probably thinks about steak. Like there's lots of ways to cook a steak, but there's kind of one best way to cook a steak, and it's
mhm,
medium rare. Like that's the juiciest sweet spot. So I look at roasting in the same sort of way.
yeah,
And you don't want it too light so that it's like crisp and acidic. You don't want it too dark so that it's greasy and smoky. I want it right in the sweet spot where everybody can enjoy it, even if you are of those far extreme preferences. I think there's a really nice big hump of people in the middle that like it the way we do it.
Okay. Oh, I like that because it's actually that acid taste that I'm not such a big fan, right?
Me
Um,
either. You know, I appreciate it in some coffees, but it's not something I want every day or even yeah, I want to be surprised by coffee. I want to know that I can take a big gulp and enjoy it.
okay. Okay. And I like how I mean, you say simple coffee, but I've heard you mention a couple of things also that translate into simplicity in the business, right? So don't try to do things for everyone. And I love the idea of focusing on those little things of the business.
Yeah, I think you can just get so lost so easily by trying to complicate something. And I often think that a lot of that complication is just it's a bit of wank, really. Like it's people that want to be in charge of something complicated instead of thinking about it as far as what the customer wants. So
Mhm.
I always have to check myself because I could
I,
definitely steer this company in a weird direction just with my own proclivities and interests, but
I-
it's a business that has to satisfy a customer base, and that's the that's what always anchors me.
okay. And what has worked for you to keep yourself in check, like to do that assessment and know that you're on the right track?
Just not letting success of a business get to your head. You know, like if it's going really well, it's uh it's a testament to it working. You know, and you don't really need to like reinvent it if it's going really well. I think that's a temptation that can happen really easily, and so I have to humble myself sometimes and just realize that like this is working because it's designed to work, and it doesn't need to be reinvented.
Um, Talking about marketing, I was wondering what does the marketing look like for the business? Um, and is it like in terms of strategies and how do you get more people into the stores, more people into your website? And is it different between your coffee shops and direct sales over the website?
Yeah, so I'd say the as far as marketing the coffee that we sell online, the most effective method of marketing for us has been email marketing, like newsletter marketing.
Mhm.
Uh, to me, that moves the needle better than anything. Um, you know, just looking at yeah, how many people open, like if we send out a newsletter to 3,000 people and 2,000 people open it. To me, that's you can't really get better than that as far as potential conversion.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a fantastic open rate.
yeah, it's awesome, but you know, with and it's great because it's direct to the customer. You know, like it's right in their inbox. Kind of like a text message would be right into their phone. I feel like text stuff is maybe a little bit too invasive. I never appreciate it when I get text marketing from companies, but I do appreciate email marketing, especially when it feels focused and direct and that there's something to offer. You know, so we always try to provide value with our email marketing so that you know if it's not a discount that's available, it's something educational, informative. And then just making it aesthetically pleasing so that people enjoy reading through the email.
Mhm.
That's been a big one for us. Because you know we obviously we have Instagram too, and that's a good marketing venue, but it kind of lives for 24 hours and then it's moved out of the timeline.
Mm.
And so if you don't hit those people on, like if they don't see that post, it's gone empty basically. So I think that sort of encouraged us to look at, you know, maybe doing some content that lives a bit more evergreen on YouTube, more long format, informative content. So that's something we've started to do over the last year. We bought a nice camera, try to get the quality of our video content up, and then just make coffee content that's engaging and fun and not too scripted.
Mhm.
You know, we try to just shoot it in one take and edit it and make sure that that it feels real. Because I want people to feel like they're there in the experience or like they're actually could be part of the conversation.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh, and I find through that we've got a lot more interest just of customers outside of our existing clientele base. People who are looking for information on espresso machines or any sort of authoritative educational material on YouTube seems to really attract a really good clientele, a good audience of people who are looking to learn more.
Okay. Oh, and let me go back to your 15-year celebration,
Yep.
and kind of the journey. But as you look back, um, what would you say has been one of the major, what was a major roadblock that, pops up in that journey of 15 years that you had to,
Um,
that was a big challenge and you had to solve?
I mean, it's all tough, right? Like it's there's so many. Every day's a roadblock, but that's kind of the challenge of it too. Like I enjoy the challenge of trying to figure out a way around the roadblock. But I've had so many just hairy moments where I'm like, man, are we gonna make it through this? Like COVID was brutal. I just shut all the stores down for 6 months. It's like this isn't even worth operating through. I wanted to stay hopeful and be like, maybe we'll be able to like figure out a way to make this work. And it's just like, man, you're gonna lose money no matter what. So just try to lose the least amount of money was my eventual approach. So I just shut everything down and took some time to like evaluate before we reopened the shops again. So that was probably the biggest roadblock that's happened in the 15 years was
Mhm.
closing everything down, losing all the momentum, losing all my staff, losing so much money, and then rebuilding it basically from scratch when we came back. So that that's got to be the big one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't think I'm
And
not. I think a lot of I think anyone would probably answer that if they've been open for the last few years.
yeah, and if you see yourself as business owner, as leader, um, what impact did that have on you in terms of developing as a business owner?
Oh, I mean, it we just slammed the brakes. You know what I mean? I had to kind of put all my plans on the back burner, kind of re envision this company and what I wanted to do with it when we did reopen again.
Mhm.
Um, and I think in a lot of ways it opened my eyes up to the strength of e-commerce and marketing, because we hadn't really done a whole lot. Like our marketing before that was basically like word of mouth, very grassroots, very almost anti-marketing, um, trying to keep it really kind of off the radar.
And really focused on the shops.
Yeah, we were very like retail focused before. We didn't
Okay.
really do any e-commerce pre-COVID. We had the web store open for a year before COVID, and then as soon as COVID happened, uh, that's when the e-commerce like really picked up and got busy.
Okay.
People were buying coffee like it was toilet paper. So that was that definitely changed my perspective and my goals as far as like pushing e-commerce. Now our e-commerce is like our probably our if I think about it like a location, it's our third busiest store,
Okay.
which is
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So
fantastic.
it wasn't all bad, like I think it forced me to look at my business differently.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and maybe leveraging that learning and thinking about the next 5 years. Where do you see the business going in the next 5 years or so?
I mean, I think we're on a similar trajectory now. Just trying to keep growing the e-commerce through marketing, through promotion, just through a steady growth of that, and improving our website experience so that when people do find us online, they're encouraged to try it out, and it's easy to buy, it's easy to drink. But I would like to do a couple more retail stores. I'd like to do some more wholesale partnerships. We've been doing a lot more equipment sales and service, kind of just seeing that grow over the years. We're now working directly with La Marzocco, which is kind of the premier Italian espresso machine manufacturer.
Mhm.
We do a lot of their sales and service in the GTA now. Um,
Okay.
and we work with a few other companies, but we've really kind of honed in on the brands that we want to actually sell and like support, the brands that we can vet and say like, yeah, if you're gonna open a coffee shop, don't think about anything other than these. This is the best bang for your buck.
Mhm.
We've tried everything else, and this is the best. So take our advice and trust that this stuff is exactly what we would use in our stores too.
Okay.
So that I think that's going forward. That's something I want to see grow is our equipment sales and service, because we can help a lot of other businesses through that too.
Okay.
And it's good business for us. So
Yeah. Yeah. That feels different, but leveraging a lot of the expertise of the operation that you've grown.
yeah, it's I mean you only learn about these machines through experience. So I think at this point, I've been working with La Marzocco machines for yeah close to 20 years. I know how they work pretty well. So if someone had a question about those machines, I could give them a fair answer.
Okay. Great. So as we begin to wrap up, I have a few rapid fire questions. So almost like, one or two words of answer. So what would you say is the key to success for you?
The key to success is not thinking about success. It's thinking about creating something meaningful for
Mhm.
people, and creating value. And then success is the byproduct of that. I think
Okay.
if you
Love
think
that.
about success, you're going to drive yourself nuts.
I love that. Um, Other than what we've discussed, any other piece of advice for business owners?
Um, yeah, start small, make sure the business works for you so that you're not constantly working for the business. Um,
Mhm.
and eventually you're going to have to pull yourself back from it. Like it's hard. This is the hardest thing I think is like going from being very hands-on to letting other people be hands-on, and then you kind of observe, so that you can work on your business instead of at your business. That's
Okay.
that to me, I'm still working on that. Honestly, that's a goal of mine.
Mhm.
Taking a day off would be great.
Okay. And any book recommendation?
Oh, uh, I don't know, man. In the coffee industry, at least, I think everyone should read Scott Rayo's books. I think yeah, he's really been the most inspiring industry figure for me as far as coffee books go. He's written the Professional Barista's Handbook, the Roaster's Handbook, a lot of just really good starting points for people getting in the industry. That I would say that anyone that's getting into the coffee business should start there.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
Um, so when we share this, we'll share it with your website, social media, but I wanted to ask, what's the best way to learn more about you and the business?
I mean, best way is obviously go and have a coffee in the shop and experience for yourself. I think you'll really get a sense of what makes my shops different, what makes the experience different when you go in person and see it. Um, and then we have a lot of information on our website, a lot of good kind of background origin story on there. And then our YouTube channel is probably the most informative outlet to learn more about the company and more about just my philosophy on coffee and training and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. So, um, thanks so much again, Sam, for your time, and I'm sure that the audience will get a lot of value from your journey.
Hope so.
And really excited for the next, for the celebration and the next um 15 years for
Thanks. Yeah,
your bishops. So
I'm aiming for 100. So if I live that long, it'll be cool.
perfect. Excellent. Take care. Thanks.
Okay, have a good one.